Hello everyone. So we have seven students of this Odcl course for this batch, that is 2024 batch. Now they are number one Arushi, and then Anjali is there, and then we have Prachi, and then Pratima is there, then Pratik is there, Priyans is there, and Durgesh is there. So these students are going to tell you the procedure how to get into this course and what this course is actually, and they will also share their experience of interview and OA round. Okay, so that is the OA round is remaining. The first round this year was happening through CAT, which has already happened. So they will guide you through that, what you should do. So we'll start with Arushi. Arushi will like to know what is this ODCL and tell us something about ODCL course and who can apply for this course.
Sure, sir. So, as you know, that ODCL, the full form of the course itself is Organizational Development, Change and Leadership. It's one of the most unique courses in India. I believe this is one of the first institutions to have started a full dedicated course on change management and leadership. It's a unique course as it focuses a lot on people-centered leadership. It focuses on a lot on humanism. And I think it's one of the first courses that is introduced in India, full-time masters, 2 years, that focuses on change management and focuses on how we should view organization as a full system and not see organization in bits and parts. And its emphasis ranges from, as it mentions, organization to talent management to employee well-being, in fact, and also it focuses a lot on people, processes, and organization. And as we all know, we are living in a world which is very VUCA. VUCA is the term that is in use right now, which is very volatile. So at this time, it becomes very important for the organizations to be able to adapt and be resilient. And this is what the course is about. It focuses a lot on behavior science. So it helps to understand that how organizations can adapt and have a long-term effectiveness.
Priyans, I would like you to tell what is the basic difference between ODCL course and other course of test, which is HRM course.
Good evening, sir, and my aspirants. Uh, well, the MA in ODCL is quite unique, and it's often compared to HRM or an MBA. But what makes it different is its focus on change and leadership. HRM, for example, is more about managing specific HR functions like hiring or employee engagement. ODCL, on the other hand, looks at the bigger picture, how an organization works as a system and how to lead change across it. It's less about managing tasks and more about shaping organizations to grow and adapt. Compared to an MBA, which usually focuses on different business areas like finance, marketing, or operations, ODCL is more interdisciplinary. It combines elements of psychology, sociology, and management, helping us understand not just business strategies, uh, but also how people and processes come together to make those strategies work. Instead of just learning from case studies, which a lot of B schools do, we spend a lot of time in the field working with real organizations on real challenges. That hands on experience is a big part of what makes ODCL so special. Another thing that sets ODCL apart is the leadership focus. It's not just about becoming a manager, it's about learning to lead change in a way that's thoughtful, inclusive, and ethical. This focus on values like sustainability and inclusivity makes it different from both HRM and traditional MBAs. It prepares you for the role that go beyond HR, like strategy, consulting, or even leadership development. So while HRM trains you to specialize in human resources and MBA gives you a broad business foundation, ODCL kind of bridges that gap. It's more than a general MBA course, but with a unique emphasis on people, systems, and change. That's what makes it stand out, and why I think it's perfect for anyone who wants to drive meaningful impact in an organization.
Okay. So what you are saying is any challenge to an organization can be seen not in silos but altogether in a holistic way. So ODCL tries to do that other than
Yes, yes.
other MBA courses which look in parts and silos like
Hmm.
operations, like marketing, like HR, etc. Okay, Prachi, could you tell what is the eligibility criteria for this course? Who all can apply?
Sure, sir. So, first of all, hello everybody, and we are glad to have you all here and be able to share some insights and our experiences. Regarding the eligibility criteria, the basic eligibility criteria for your in terms of the kind of subjects you've studied, it's there is no bar on the subjects that you've studied. It is a basic minimum bachelor's in graduation of 3 years to 4 5 years. So minimum is three and upwards, 4 and 5, all are considered. And then again, there is a bar on the work experience, so you need to have 2 years of minimum work experience post your graduation till 1st May 2025. For people applying for the coming year, it is for this for the cohort of 25-27, it is still 2025 1st of May, which is considered. And what I would say is the third eligibility criteria would be intent and understanding of the course. It is a very underset criteria, but because this course is the batch strength of the course is so limited and it is so niche that the intent and the understanding of course is very important. So that would be a third eligibility criteria I would like to put forth, apart from the two other criteria that I mentioned.
So, Pratima, could you tell what is the batch strength and what are the diversity factor out there in the course?
Yeah, sir. So, sure. So, coming to batch strength, usually if you look at the website, it is mentioned that the batch size is 35, but it is quite flexible. If we look our seniors, look at our seniors, the batch size is 41, and for us it is 39. So, it depends on the parameters and many parameters, and also maybe it depends on the number of people who are sitting for the interviews and all. And I feel that the batch size is so limited, and it is one of the, I see it as a unique selling point for this course, because the limited batch size not only uh, you know uh, it not only creates high focus on the students, but also enhances the experiential learning and peer-to-peer learning more. And I believe that this helped me in this limited batch size, and peer-to-peer learning helped me so much in this course. And coming to diversity factors, the batch is so diverse. I can say that from the engineering to arts and humanities, and people are from various backgrounds in this batch. And this actually adds to the perspectives we have as a student in this course.
Okay, so Anjali, there is a question from one of the student that there are many questions that does the selection process in this batch or Odcl depends upon the gap year, because there are two types of students who have taken 1 2 years of gap after graduation and then they have worked. Otherwise, there are also students who maybe engaged in some work for 2 years and then they started preparing for UPSC or something, and because of that, they have gap years. So, how that gap year will matter? Will it matter in any way in selection to ODCL course?
Actually, no, it does not matter, but it depends how you are clarifying that gap. Like you need to have a valid explanation for that gap. So in my case, I also had 1 year of gap. But what truly matters is how you present your gap during that interview. So you have to be honest and transparent. Like you need to start by confidently explaining the reason for the gap. What was the reason? Whether it is personal reason, family responsibilities, health issues, career exploration, or whatever it is. And you have to showcase productive use of time. Basically, highlight how you made most of that gap. It's not that you were just lethargic or you were not thinking about your career, not like that. You have to emphasize achievements and consistency. Talk about what you did before the gap, after the gap, and you have to frame the gap positively. Like it was a strategic decision that allowed you to realign your career goals and not just a time pass thing you were doing. So the short answer is no, it doesn't matter. Depends on the explanation you have for that gap.
Okay, so what you are saying is you have to justify. If gap is there and you are able to justify correctly, then they will consider it. And it might happen that you have no gap years, but you are not able to justify, or you have just 1 year of gap, but you are not able to justify. So then it is not very good. Okay. So now we'll move to next question, which is what is the selection process? So selection process for the first round, as I already said, it is CAT. So here I will elaborate something. See, the criteria is you have to sit for CAT examination first. And then what will happen? You have to get a minimum marks, and that minimum marks is, or I would say percentile is 70 percentile. And then you will have to apply for the course, and the window for that is open right now. It will be open till 10th of December. Okay, so most of you or some of you might have seen your scorecard already. Some of you might not have. So hopefully on 3rd or 4th, 5th, they will release the scorecard. CAT will release the scorecard. Now there is a question. Sir, I have scored 89 percentile this year, EWS category, non-engineer. Could I get a chance or get a call from test? Okay, so let me say here, there are two, three factors, 89 marks. So percentile
Sorry, sir.
wise, it is 95, I believe, or beyond that.
Sorry, sir. I
But
have
if you are
scored 89 marks. The percentile hasn't been released yet. The score is 89.
okay, so anyhow, so I am telling there are three, four conditions. Okay, the first one is diversity factor will work for you if you are a girl, number one. Number two, that whatever I have seen is the minimum criteria, that is 70% is there, that is fine. But getting 89 marks, I don't know what will be the percentile, but if your percentile is beyond even 90 percentile, you should apply for it. Why I'm saying that? See, in so many years, whatever the cutoff marks will be, like previously it was test net. Okay, in test net, suppose the cutoff is 61. So there were many people who were scoring 61 were actually selected in the course. And there were people who were scoring 72 and they were not selected in the course. Okay. This year also I have seen people scoring as 291, 92 have not been selected. Okay. So what I mean to say is the first round was an evaluation round. Okay. You have been evaluated in CAT and for that you have got a percentage. The second round will be your selection round. Suppose you are invited for the interview anyhow, and there you performed so well that they are willing to take you. They will give you, they will award you a very, very high marks. Okay. If you are able to impress them in the interview, they will just look at your profile. Suppose you have very less marks at the cutoff, they will give you very, very high marks so that you will qualify. And suppose you have very, very high marks in the CAT, okay, and you have not performed well. So they will give you such a marks that suppose they don't want to select you, they will give you such a marks that even after getting very high percentile, you won't be able to get into test. Okay, this has happened every year. Okay, so the first round you can understand is the evaluation round. It is done by computers. There is one question, same question to everybody, and there is one correct answer. Coming to the interview, that is the main play. If you are getting called for interview, that is the main thing. Then there are a number of ways to stand out. Okay, you have to stand out. You have to be unique, and if you are able to impress them, you can get a call. Okay, that is the thing I would say. Okay, now let us come to second round. So second round is, it is called OA. OA means online assessment. Okay, so here one by one I will start with Pratik. Pratik, could you tell what is DAF?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So I'll be talking about detailed application form. So before that, I will just like to clear the doubt which was recently asked. That was regarding the EWS category and the he has a 89 percentile, I guess, right? So he has to score.
89
Have to
marks.
score.
He has 89 marks.
Okay, 89 marks, right? Okay, okay. The percentile is yet to come, right? So just for the clarification, he has to score, 60, 60, 60 percentile in all the three sections, VARC, LRDR, and points, and the overall is 70 percentile. So you will get to know after the result comes. So coming back to the detailed application form, which is DAF. This is a very crucial part of the application form because the OA, it plays an important role in a final interview, personal interview, because this section includes your personal background, your academic qualifications, professional experience, and your extracurricular activities. So all these things you can include in this DAF form. So basically, DAF form includes your 10th, 12th, undergraduate marks, then work ex details, your experience. Um, and if there is another section called is there if there is a gap period after passing the 10th or any equivalent examination, then if there is a gap, you have to justify how was this time spent. So that is why it is very important to mention that how it was spent. And most important part in the DAF is there are three important questions. Uh, that includes the first is why are you interested in pursuing the selected program, that is ODCL. And second question will be you have to mention the work done by you relevant to the field of study. That is, if you have done any work related to the ODCL, you have to mention in that tab form. And the third important question is you have to write your biographical sketch. Its word limit is around 300 words, and the sketch is important as it enables the interview panel to assess your interests. So that is why DAF is very important. So DAF should reflect your DAF reflects your serious about the course. So the DAF is designed to give the admission team to a comprehensive view of each applicant. So it's your opportunity to showcase your achievements, experiences, and the motivations for joining the TIS. So that is why you have to fill it very carefully and take your time and showcase your best self in the DAF form.
Okay. So the reels, could you add your experience with DAF? Did you get
Yes, sir.
any question from DAF or something?
Yes, sir. Yes, adding to the Pratik's point, I would like to add here that the DAF is not evaluated, but it is to get an idea about the candidates and ask the interview questions. So I would suggest you should be honest while writing the DAF and try to keep it unique and authentic. So what are unique points you will add in your DAF so that panelists will appreciate that in your DAF. And Pratik sir is the best person to take help for the DAF, and he really puts the required efforts in your DAF and what panelists want to hear from you and your DAF. And sir has great insights regarding that.
Now, there was GD last year. Okay, after DAF, you had to sit for GD, group discussion. So, Prachi, Anjali, and then Pratima, could you speak about your experience of GD and how our course helped you? Prachi, you
Sure,
can
sir.
start.
Sure, sir. So GD basically, as per my understanding, tests three things. One is the idea of the subject matter, so something that is relevant, that is happening around the world. How is technology changing people? So you need to read on different news that comes up, be very active and passionately read on things. So that is one test that GD does. The second is how you communicate, how you're able to express your views. That is the second. And third is how you interact with different people. Now, since GD is a group discussion, there are other people along with you giving their views. So how do you actually communicate to ensure that everybody is given a chance? So these are the basic three skills that I think are tested in a GD. Now, how our GD went through, or what how my GD experience went through is, even before the actual GD happened for me, we got a lot of chances to practice GD with Pratik sir. We were given random topics and we tried to practice in a way which is very real and which is very closest to the actual GD that happens. A topic was given, time was given, then you think through and you give your answers, and then a detailed feedback was shared by sir. So I think that GD really helped me build up for my actual GD, and I was very less stressed for my actual GD, and I could actually think through of how I want to proceed with my actual GD. So that is one experience that I would like to share. And yeah, so that is pretty much about the GD. Even though this year's GD is not a part of the OA assessment, but what I would suggest is the three pillars that I mentioned, the three aspects that can be tested anytime for you in any place or situations or circumstance. So it's better to be prepared from that perspective, that this can be tested even though it's not a testing evaluation phase for this year's assessment.
Okay, so Anjali, I would like to hear from you how our course for OA helped you and how experience was there in GD. So, what are the traits one should have?
Yes, so as Prachi has already mentioned everything, and we were also in the same GD, so I would just give your sessions review, sir. Your GD sessions were so amazing, and I found them actually difficult in comparison to the actual test GD because your session was so holistic and the topics were difficult, they were challenging in detail, making the actual test GD feel much easier in comparison. Also, you used to give that personalized feedback, so that really boosted my confidence and performance. I would just say the sessions were really helping, and
So, Pratima, you could share your experience last year with us, the DAF thing, the GD thing, the OPI, mock OPI, all of that.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So for me, it is like I've joined after giving my CUET exam, and I got and support from from DAF to GD to a personal interview from Pratik sir. And I would personally say that my interactions with Ignorant IIS and Pratik sir boosted up my confidence in giving the final interview. And when it comes to GD and all, the punchlines which sir suggest to use is what made an impact for me, because at the end of the interview and everything, you have to stand out among your other competitors. So the way you present yourself is what sir taught me, and that is what which helped me in my final interview as well. So I would suggest that even this time we don't have GD. The way that sir prepares you is what makes a difference.
Okay. So, Priyansh, could you share
Yes,
your
sir.
experience of OPI, GD, or OPI, DAF, all of that with us and your real experience?
Yes. So I was with Pratik sir since the beginning, and I'd say that we have gone through a complete phase where we started with testnet, switched to CUET PG, and post that OPI preparation. So that journey, which I remember, is both interesting, full of roller coaster rides, where we had ambiguity first, then clarity was given by sir, and what I'm reading is currently is at model of changes, and I can see that it was applied on us there. Uh, Looking at starting with my OPI experience. So there were three panel members. The interview was online, and there are three panel members. Two of them were the faculty members for me, and they asked me multiple questions which were directly from the DAF. All of the interview starts with DAF, but the way you give answers and the content which you speak, it changes the flow. So controlling interview is something, it is an art, and it was taught to me by Pratik sir that how can I give direction to my interview. So that was something which I learned from him, and it's helping me currently as well.
So, Arushi, could you speak your experience?
Yeah, I think for me it was a very different experience altogether. I had three of the faculty members, and all three were faculty members, in fact. And two of them teach me also right now. So that's something that I really look forward to. Apart from that, I truly believe that in any OPI experience, what really matters is how well prepared you are in terms of the content. If you know the content through and through, then you'll be able to drive the interview in that direction. And I remember Pratik sir saying that whatever you want the interviewer to ask you, that should be your last line. So if I want whatever I wanted the interviewer to pick up on, that is where I stopped, and it built that flow for me. And I also remember them asking about. So I have a prior work ex in ENY. So they referred a lot from there that how is management consultant different from Moody consultant. So I was able to relate that because I already had this question with the Pratik sir in mock interview. So as I mentioned, a lot of and your videos itself were very comprehensive. All the content that you had given covered every bit and aspect of the interview. To be honest, there was no interview question that threw me off because I'd already practiced it multiple times with you. So I think that is what played a major role.
Okay. Okay. So there is a question, do we need to refer any book for ODCL interview preparation? So let me tell you, there are at least 4 to 5 books which are given on the website of ODCL. They are important books. So what I would say is take any one book and read the book. First of all, read name of the book very correctly and also the author of the book. You can't say, sir, मैंने वो Indian author वाला पढ़ा था, because I have seen people saying that. Okay, so you can't say like that. Know the names of the author and be very clear about the names of the author and also the book. Now, the second thing is, sir, the books are very bulky. How I will be able to complete all the books? So nobody is asking you to complete all the books. Okay. So what should I do? So there I would say, there I would ask you people, Anjali and Prachi, maybe you could. So whatever I have felt is, see, whatever I teach something, and then, for example, my students, what they have said is, sir, whatever topic you said in the class, we controlled F and we searched those topic in the books. Okay. And then we studied one chapter dedicated to that. Okay. So that too you can do, and you can speak about that in the interview. Sir, I have read this book. I have read in that this chapter where this concept is being given. So the concept and understanding that you are making from different sources, don't restrict yourself to just book, because if you will do that, I'm sure it might add to your knowledge, but the clarity you will not get. Okay. For clarity, you can refer many things. Okay, Prachi, you want to say something?
Yeah, so you were asking about the experience of how we went about the reading the books and applying the understanding. So my background has not been something which has been integrated into behavioral science or understanding of concepts around OD, organization development, organization behavior, or organization theory. So what I did was, your notes were the Bible for me, because it was broken down into very simple terms, which I could, as a person not being from that background, understand very well. So the first step was going through your notes, understanding what exactly it means and what are the different things we need to cover end to end. Once that was clear in my head, then I approached reading the books, and then I referred topic by topic to understand how exactly the storyline is going through, what is exactly required, and then I tried to mind map. So I think this is the way I could be able to actually relate to the different concepts and the examples that were given in the book.
Okay, Anjali, will you say something?
Yes, sir, same. Actually, I had busy schedule, so I didn't used to attend your sessions. I used to watch the recording sometime, but notes are something I can vouch for. There were a lot of good content. I read only your notes, nothing else, and just with that, I got 286 marks in CUET as well. And interview tips which you used to give, they were also very, very helpful. So there were three faculties in my interview, and as Arushi mentioned, like whatever I said, they were picking the questions from that also, and they were trying to confuse me as well. But as you suggested, that be confident and don't lose your confidence during the interview. That's what I did and went through it. So it went well and I got selected. But yes, also the mock test which you used to give for CUET, because it was happening for the first time and nobody had any idea how the exam is going to be. So I checked the mock test with the other website also, but your mock test was something I found, oh, can exam be this easy? But then the actual exam was exactly just that. Even the questions you gave, those questions were there. It was like copy paste, copy paste exam paper. So that was really, really helpful.
Okay. So anybody who would like to matlab, suggest the people, the student who are applying for this course, sir, how to deal with studying four books or something like that? How you manage to go through the content? Maybe Priyans, you can add.
Yeah. So there are 5 books which are suggested on the websites, and I prefer that website, and I'll prefer that aspirant should at least read one of those books. There are some methods which are shared by Pratik sir. They are quite useful, but still I'll say that read the books. They will give you the basic understanding not only about the questions to be asked, but also of the subject which you are going to study for the next 2 years. So it would be helpful in that sense. And moreover, all of those books are almost similar because they talk about organization development, change, and leadership as well. So reading any one book would help you suffice this. So
So
that's my advice.
it is not that they are asking, to be very frank, they are just checking your, credibility. If you are saying that, sir, I have read this book, So what is the proof? So they might ask something, and then you have to apply. You have to reply in a way that will convince them that the person is genuine. If you have not read some book and you have just learned the names of those books and you are bluffing them, then they will catch you. Okay. So don't do that. Don't bluff at any point in the interview. It is always good to say a no, that you don't know something. Okay. And it is not humanly possible to go through all the books. So you can choose one of them. And yes, as Priyank said, get some idea about what is ODCL and what is change management. After having those ideas, start reading few chapters. Don't start from chapter number one. Okay, you can choose any chapter which interests you, and then you can read that chapter, and then you can see that also that I have read this chapter from this book. Okay, Arusi, you can say.
Yeah, so one point that I wanted to add, and what I learned from mock interviews was not to use too much of technical jargon because they actually do not want to hear all the technical words that are there in the book. They want to understand that what is your definition of it? How do you apply it, or have you applied it or not? So when they say change management, they do not want to hear that change management is a structured approach which goes and so on. They want to hear that how did you apply? What is change management according to you, and what is your definition? And that was the same thing that was pointed out in the mock interviews that was taken by Sir and one of the admins, that I should not use that much jargon, and it should be in a very simple language that is easy to comprehend. So while you read the book, just make your understanding of it, make your notes, and understand that how your work experience or how your experience can relate to what is mentioned in the book. That correlation is very necessary.
Okay, so there is a question, sir, what will be the possible cutoff for the ODCL? So see, as already said, the minimum requirement is, I believe 70 percentile in all of the three sections. If you do have that, then you can think of applying. Why I'm saying, because having four criteria met, that is having 70 percentile in each of the section, along with that having 2 years of experience, is something which is quite rare. Okay, so if you wish, you can apply. Suppose you are getting somewhere around 90, then I would say yes, there is high chance. Okay, you should apply, you must apply. Okay, and suppose you are getting beyond that, then it is quite certain that you will get a call. Okay, and once you will get a call, as I said, CAT is the evaluation round which has happened, it is over. The next round will be a selection round where selection is going to happen. So just because you have scored very good percentile, it might be 99, that doesn't guarantee that you will get selected. Okay, just because you have high percentile. Similarly, just because you have very less percentile, but you are called for the interview, that also doesn't mean that you will, until you will perform, you know, you will perform in a way which will take you down. Suppose you are going to perform very impressive, in a very impressive way, then the professor, they will give you marks in such a way that you will end up getting the admission, because they also in a way know that this guy deserves to be here. Okay, and therefore you will be given a chance. And I have seen that many a time, whenever my students, for example, many of my students, I can tell you, like 8 to 10 of my students who got just the cutoff marks in HRM, ODCL, etc. They got one admission in my 5 years. Okay, so you can also get, but still, just for the safer side, if you have a good percentile like 85 or 90, then it is somewhat good. If you have 95 percentile above, it has high chances. Okay, so any other question? Okay, so there are some other questions which I will ask. Anybody can answer that question. So ODCL is a self-finance course. Okay, so the first question is, what is the fee of this course? What do we mean by self-finance course? Anjali, could you take this question?
So self-finance course meaning the fee is entirely supposed to be paid by us, the students. It's not like other courses where it's supported and funded by the college. So the fee is approximate 8.5 lakhs for 2 years.
Okay. Still, it is much lesser than the regular MBA, which is, out there. So the fee is around 8.2 per or 2 years.
Yes,
For 2 years. Okay.
yes, for 2 years.
Now the second question is, because let me tell you, there are people who have asked this question, sir, do we get hostel facility? So let me tell you that if you have taken admission into a self-financed course, then the accommodation is your responsibility. That means you won't be given hostels. You have to take flat somewhere. Okay. So that's also a thing. Now, Prachi, you can say.
Yeah, so I wanted to add a few points around the diversity factor because I saw a question on the chat which was around experience in IT as a software developer. So what I would like to say is we have a diverse cohort in terms of gender, in terms of people from different regions, in terms of people from different background. People are from software, people are from actually manufacturing, people are from commerce, people are from arts, people are from different sectors in terms of the work that they have done in different organizations, from corporate, from government, from startups. So I think there is no end to, or no restriction in terms of where you're coming from. The only criteria, like I mentioned earlier, was intent. Now if you think your journey ahead, your journey prior matches your interest in the current period of time to what you want to achieve in the upcoming 5-10 years, then this is the right course for you. So there's no restriction or boundaries in terms of what you have done in the past. If whatever you have done in the past is adding value to what you want to do in the current and pursue a future in that field, then go for it, is what I would like to say.
Okay. So Anjali, you can speak now.
Yes, sir. As in the chat, somebody is asking, what's the fee payment routine like? So, as I mentioned, the fees is 8.5 lakhs approximately for 2 years. So, you have to pay fee per semester. Like in first semester, we have paid 2 lakhs 22,500. In next semester, we would also be paying approximate 2 lakhs. So, it's like that. Every semester, you pay the fee. And the other student is asking why hostel is not provided for ODCL. So, as I mentioned before, it's a self-finance course. Hostels are provided on specific conditions. If you make some special request or especially able students, so those students get this hostel. Otherwise, you don't, as it's a self-finance course.
Okay. So if I want to get into DEI initiatives, uh, will the course help? So anybody can take this question.
I'll pick it up. So, yes, if you want to be into DNI, yes, it's a good platform because we have subjects that are related to it. We also have diversity and inclusion and different subjects which play a key factor. And also, the culture of the organization a lot depends upon what diversity the people are bringing in. So, in terms of DEI equity, and we focus a lot on humanism. I think that's one of the major aspect of it, that how to deal with organizations in a humanistic way. So equity is there, inclusion is there, and diversity is something that we learn every day from each other because we have different experiences, as one of the peers mentioned. So yes, it will be definitely beneficial for you if you want to get into DNI.
So the
Also,
next
I
question,
would like
yeah, go on.
Yes, so I would like to add to it, as Arushi mentioned, there's a whole course we study, diversity and inclusion. Other than that, we have CBCS courses. So in first semester itself, you get to choose two courses, and in that also you can choose courses related to diversity and inclusion. And the internships which we work on, there also we get to work on this part. For example, right now I am doing my internship, and there I'm getting to work on the EIB. So you get multiple roles related to that.
Okay, coming to internship only, Prachi, could you tell a thing about internship and fieldwork? Internship will be there, and how many fieldworks are there in 2 year course?
Sure, sir. So there are four. So there are four field internships that are there in the course, along with one summer internship, which is a 2 month duration internship, and then field internships are 1 month duration each, along with the project called Leadership as a Service. So these are the five interventions that we have.
Okay. So there is another question. What kind of role do you get in internship in job once you complete the masters in Odyssey? So what sort of roles you get to learn your internship, and what sort of roles you get after placement? So anybody can take this.
I'll take it up, sir.
Yeah.
So there are a variety of roles that one usually can get after ODCL. So as the ODCL itself says, organizational development, change, and leadership, a major part of it goes into OD roles as an OD consultant or as a change management consultant. So these are the major roles that one can be a part of. Other than that, we also have a lot of subjects around talent management. So talent management roles are also there, which can one can focus upon, and DNI specialist is also we are focusing upon. And since we have different subjects around marketing, we also have subjects that are included around finance and marketing. So the roles are also being broadened there.
So yesterday only I was talking to one of your seniors who is at a very good institute right now. So she was saying she is into sustainability. So as somebody said that you have to bring these ideas to the company as a whole across
Right.
departments. So that is one job you can be offered. Okay. So
Yes.
let me go through another question. It is I'm scoring 99.6 percentile as per my scorecard from this. Are there any general roles on offer such as TAS, ABG, leadership role, etc.? That's I mean, see, first you will get into the course, and it will depend upon the time, the placement season when it will come. Then different companies will come, and you will have to apply for those companies. And wherever you will apply, your CV can be selected or not. If you are selected, your CV is selected, then of course you can get into whatever roles you are talking about. Now, tasks as such, tasks, I believe after working for Tata's for some year, you can go into that. Okay. And learning and development is a thing which we do there after ODCL. And there is one more question, which is what? Let me. Does undergraduation percentage has a significance? See, let me tell you something. So, as I already told, that these are procedures, that is 10th marks or that thing. So, these are small hurdle. Okay. If you will qualify and if you are going to sit ultimately in the interview, the only thing which will be required is, are you able to impress the panel? If you are able to make an impact, impress them, so that they are convinced that you should be taken as a student in this course, they will take you. They will not see how much marks you have in 10th, how much marks you have in 12th, how many gap years you have. I have students who had, you know, after graduation, who worked, or who prepared for UPSC for 8 years, 6 years, and they also made it to HR. If that can happen, then this can also happen. There are people here also, your seniors, who prepared for UPSC for many years, and then they ultimately went to ODCL. Okay, so that is the main thing. Rather than, they will not make it a big point if you have 1% less or 1% more in your graduation. Okay, so that is already there on the website, the criteria. But if you will ask me, that is the insight I have developed. Does fieldwork involve travel? So yeah, it should, because as far as I know, many of my students, they go to different places to do their fieldwork. So anybody can take this question. Prachi, you can take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so field work, by the very term, it means field work on the field. And the idea of the field work is to help you get understanding of the organization as a whole, not just from a lens where you're sitting in the desktop in the office and trying to work out a solution or a strategy, but also going on the ground to see what people are actually going through. For example, a field work where a project is on learning and development. So now you need to actually interact with the people for whom you're building learning and development. So there you go, interact with people, so you'll have to get out on the field, and it's pretty interesting and a very wholesome experience, which is very unique to this ODCL program, because you don't get a fieldwork as an opportunity elsewhere. So rather than thinking of it to be going to a field and working, I think it's a pretty insightful experience. Another was, for example, diversity and inclusion. There was a question on the chat. We do have projects under diversity and inclusion. Now, to be able to understand diversity and inclusion, you need to actually go on the factory field to understand how employees are behaving with each other, to see what is happening, what is not happening, because there are certain things which are based on observation, because he's talking about human science. So I think this is where the field work angle actually adds a lot of value when you're on the field.
And one more thing, that is, whatever you have learned or you have been taught there, how you apply those things practically in those areas, that is very important. Okay, when you are going for summer intern, if you are going and whatever you are doing is quite visible to them, they might give you PPO, because many of my students, they end up getting PPO, and they have shared this, that whatever you learn, that is one thing, learning is one thing, applying that and showing that you are applying, that is other thing. Okay, so you should be quite visible in doing things you are actually doing. If that is there, then try to engage holistically in the process. And if that is happening correctly, then after internship you might get PPO also. Okay, that is one thing. Then, do we get paid for field work? You get paid for summer internship. Okay, I mean, summer internship placement happens in September, from September. Okay, and the internship will happen next year in May or June around. Okay, and you will get paid for that. As far as fieldwork is concerned, they keep happening in the mid time, and I don't think there is a payment out there. Okay, so yeah, so you don't get paid for fieldwork, you get paid for internship. So now we'll ask, so how is the life at this? So you can add the other component, how is the campus and everything. So we can start with Anjali, then Arushi, then Pratima, and then Prachi, and then Priyansh, Durgesh, and Pratik will speak.
In short, it is good. The campus is amazing. Initially, it felt little overwhelming as this year our batch started late, but now we all got used to it. It's challenging at the same time rewarding.
Yeah, as Anjali mentioned, it's something that is really good. We have campuses that have greenery all around, so that's one of the best places to be in. We have an old campus, we have a new campus, and we literally have dogs and cats sitting in the class with us. So that is something, because TISS is very pet friendly. Apart from that, as you know, any conventional B school, there are a lot of emphasis paid on competition, but we all have very healthy competition within us. So I think this is one of the major factor, because it's a social science institution. A lot of emphasis is paid on our mental health also. I think which is the need of the hour, considering what we are going through at every day. So yes, life at this is beautiful.
Yeah, so I want to add on to that I can say that it's a very vibrant here. Here, the people are very helpful, I can say, because I came from an area where I'm not involved with interacting people much, but here I find it very friendly and helpful. So that is very encouraging for me as well.
I think most of the points are already covered by the people who spoke before me. What I would like to say is it's a very wholesome experience. Right after having that work experience and coming again to study with that bunch of people is a breath of fresh air. And the most important highlight that I found very unique to this is the kind of camaraderie that people have within each other, the kind of unity that we have, and support that we have for one another is something that I've always looking forward to.
So, adding on to what others have said, there are almost 50 other courses which are taught in TIS, and meeting people here, uh, everyone is from different courses, come with a different mindset, and moreover, from every part of the country. So they have a different perspective. Interacting with them gives you a whole new idea, and it is something which is quite unique to TIS. And moreover, there is a, every second day or third day there is a fest organized, not a full-fledged fest, but yes, a kind of celebration is going on because of a festival, or something has happened at the campus. So it is what makes this unique. And yes, the life at this is beautiful.
Yes, adding to my colleagues' points. So one thing is here we have the diverse cohort, and the batch strength is only 13 and 14, 39 students. So yes, we get to learn from lot of learning from our peers, and also here there are many schools like Hill School and Social Work School. So we get to learn from those students as well, and we get to interact with those and get learning from them as well.
So I think everyone has covered all the points. So I started my professional career from Mumbai, then worked for almost 3 years, and again I came back as a student to the Mumbai. That's a great experience for me. I think my experience at TIS has been very transformative because what stands out is how I can connect my past work experience with the rigorous course curriculum. The faculty are the industry experts, and they are experts in their individual fields. So that means that we are learning directly from the real world insights. So this has been the incredibly helpful, and especially during the field work. So currently we are doing field work. So we are applying whatever we have learned throughout the our course, and what we learn in the class to the real situations. That is the key. So being part of the TIS family, which is a dream for me, and has been a fulfilling experience. And moreover, the diverse peer group gives an enriching exchange of ideas, perspectives, while the faculty who have experts in their respective fields provides valuable insights, and that drawn from the industry and academia, and of course the vibrant campus culture, and that is combined with the institute's emphasis on social sensitivity. That has been very instrumental in my shaping in my holistic perspective on the this my course there on the leadership and change dynamics which I'm learning. So yeah, it's a great experience to be part of the TIS family.
In the interaction, we missed a point. So that the point was, what was your background experience? Okay. So I would like at the end that all of you just to let us know about the diversity from which people are coming into this course. We'll start with Arushi, then Anjali, then Pratima, and then Prachi, then Priyans, and then Durgesh Pratik. Could you say just your background and the number of years of experience you hold?
Sure, sir. So I have a commerce background. I have done my Bachelor of Commerce from University of Delhi, and then I have a work experience of 3.5 years approximately at a consulting firm.
Okay. So Anjali, you can speak now.
Yeah, I have master's in chemistry. Then I worked in EdTech sector for 4 years, and then I came to this ODCL course.
Okay, Pratima.
Yeah, so I'm a graduate engineer, electronics and communication graduation I've done, and post that I've worked in TCS for about 21 months, and I've also worked as a manager in RAW Engineering Services. It's an engineering service provider for 10 months.
Okay, Prachi, you can speak now.
Right. I have a background in Bachelor of Commerce in Finance and Investment from Christ University, Bangalore. And post that I've worked into different organizations. I've worked with EY. I've worked with a edtech startup in the founder's office role, and I've done multiple internships along with doing a family business. The total duration of my experience would has been 2.5 years.
Priyans, you can speak.
Yeah. So I have worked with Infosys as a systems engineer, and I was a full stack .NET developer over there. Before that, I had a graduation in BTech engineer, mechanical engineer.
Okay. Durgesh, you can speak.
Yes, sir. I did graduation in mechanical engineering, and post that I worked in Cognizant Technology Solutions for 27 months as a software analyst.
Okay, Pratik.
So I did my Bachelor of Technology in Electrical Engineering, and post that I worked for almost 3 years. I worked in both IT and electrical sector. I worked in Adani Electricity Mumbai Limited as a senior executive for 1.5 years, and then I worked in Infosys Limited as a systems engineer.
Yeah, Prachi, go on.
Yes, sir. So thank you. So it was a very good experience, I think, meeting you and having that interaction one on one. So it was a very interesting experience. And thank you so much for having us. And I hope this session has helped aspirants clear their doubts regarding what they're looking for. All I would want to suggest is if you're clearing that cutoff, just go for it. Just prepare well, follow what Pratik sir has to say, and then I think you will be good to go, is all that I have to say.
Yeah. So I would just share one thing that, as I said, that one of your seniors called me So she is right now in a very good institute, a very good organization, and she has been working there for almost 6 months or more than that. She is from the previous to previous batch. Okay. Now she told me, sir, initially it looked that I won't be able to qualify this net. Okay. So the confidence which you gave to me was very crucial. So what I want to say that all of you can do it. Okay. So just show four qualities in the interview. That is, show your confidence, be very clear about whatever you speak, whatever you write in that. Okay. Then show the conviction why you want this course or why you want to come to this course. Okay. And then the last thing is be credible. Don't try to bluff here and there. Be credible if you know something, if you don't know something, because they are smart people. Can't bluff them. You can't suppose you wish something else and you are showing speaking something else, so that you can't do. Your conviction should lie, it should align with whatever you are saying. Okay. If that is going to happen, you are going to be selected. Once you are selected, that is, this course is your starting point, not a finishing point. Start from here, and the finishing point, nobody knows where you will end up. Okay. Okay, then, so I will stop the recording. Okay. So thanks again.